Hello audience. In this video I'm going to install this cheap heated seat conversion kit on my car. Now this I got off Amazon for I think $28. That's including shipping and all that, so for the price my expectations are kind of low on this, but I'll try it anyway. But first let's see what we got. We have two heat pads. We have a wiring harness with a relay. Some other wiring harness. An inline fuse. And the switch. Also a bunch of zip ties. And the instructions. So first thing we're going to do is mock this all up and see if I can make it work. Okay, here's what we have. This is the wiring harness. It's got the relay on it. Now both of the heat pads plug into that. It's got this other plug which goes to power, which I hooked up to a car battery. It's got this other plug that goes to the switch. And this other harness, I think it's an extension cord for the switch. And we'll worry about the fuse later. So right now we'll turn it on and see what happens. Alright, they've been on for about a minute, and they're kind of warm. Not really hot, but the battery might be dead. So anyway, they do kind of work. So next I'm gonna get out the car and try installing them. So according to the instructions, first thing to do is remove the seat. Next we got to take all this apart to get underneath here. Okay, that was convenient. The backrest only had one bolt on each side holding it on, and it just lifted right off. They're not always that easy to take apart. Now if you're wondering, the car I'm working on is a 2004 Chevy Classic, but this particular seat came out of a 1997-ish Oldsmobile Cutlass. They directly interchange, and these are a little more comfortable. Another neat thing is there's no Velcro strip going across here anywhere, like some seats have, which is good because the heat pad fits almost perfectly. Now the ad on Amazon kind of implied that you can trim these down or cut holes in them, but the instructions that it came with clearly tell you not to. So luckily that wasn't a problem with this. Now I've already marked out where I want to place it. We have the heating element right about at the edge of the front. So we'll peel the adhesive tape off of it and stick it down here. Then we'll have to cut a hole in it somewhere and route the wiring underneath. So it turns out the backrest has a Velcro strip across here, which is going to be in the way of the heat pad. But I'm just going to leave it and put it together that way. Alright, time to put it back together. Now, the sides were pretty worn out, so while it was apart, I glued some 1-inch foam rubber on each side. Not the greatest job, but it should help a little. Alright, the seat's finished. Now, the ideal place for the switch would be either on the console or on the dash somewhere where you can see it, but I chose to put it on the side of the seat because the wiring's a lot simpler. And here's the wiring. I ended up using all the zip ties that it came with. So got the heat pads wired up, that's for the switch. So we only have one plug to install or remove when you install or remove the seat, and that's for power. So next thing to do is take the rest of the wires and find a power source in the car. Alright, I got it wired up. So this is the wire that goes to the seat. I got it tucked in under the console. Back here, I got this wire that goes to my aftermarket voltmeter. I think this goes to the ignition switch. Anyways, I tapped the fuse into that and then wired it to the positive side. The ground wire ran that to a bolt under the dash. The frame under here is steel, so I think it'll ground. Obviously I'll have to do something about all these wires when it's assembled, but anyway, I'll put it together and see what happens. Alright, let's try it out. So, turn the key on. Turn it on. And it lights up. So I guess it's working. Fantastic. I'll put the rest of the car back together now. So, it's a few days later, and I've been driving this car with the heated seat on, and it's been working steadily ever since, and it does get noticeably warm, so it actually does work. Now, if there's anything I would complain about, it takes about 3 or 4 minutes before it warms up enough to where you can notice it. So, right now, just to show you, I have the engine running, so we got a good 14 volts, it looks like, on the electrical system. And you'll see just how hot it is. Now the back seat, for example, is at 74-ish degrees. Yeah, somewhere in there. And now the front seat is at 94, 96. Yeah, quite a noticeable difference. Backrest, about the same. So yeah, this was actually a pretty effective kit. Well, that was a pleasant surprise. I did not expect it to work that good. So, probably eventually going to get a few more of those kits and put them in my other cars. And anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.